Look at tonight's top stories. Some serious green for California's clean and green industries. $19 million in Green Innovation Challenge grants were awarded to 6 agencies across California Tuesday to offer training for nearly 3,000 skilled jobs in the green industries, including hybrid and electric vehicles, alternative fuels, and renewable energy generation. Among the recipients, the North State's Nortec. It received $3.5 million.
The Glenn County Sheriff's Office will be able to maintain 24-hour street patrols. However, the Board of Supervisors still slashed nearly $300,000 from the department. In order to balance the budget, the department will have to cut back on gas, overtime, and operational services and supplies. Glenn County officials approved a budget of $22 million for the coming fiscal year. 2 county employees have been laid off.
The City of Anderson is reassuring the public it will do all it can to make sure there is a thorough investigation into the sexual assault arrest of a police officer.
Action News reporter Elizabeth Gadley has more on the extra step the city is taking in the interest of justice.
Anderson City Manager is bringing in an independent consultant to oversee the internal investigation against Officer Brian Benson.
I think our police department is doing a great job with the investigation. I don't have any questions about that, but this gives us an opportunity to bring in someone from the outside to just take an independent look and provide the public with the assurance that the investigation is thorough.
Officer Benson was arrested for allegedly raping a woman in his custody in May. Reading police are conducting the criminal investigation, but City Manager Dana Shigley says Anderson's internal affairs investigation is also important.
What we're doing internally has to do with the personnel action and our own review of the situation and whether or not that warrants some sort of discipline or termination or other sort of internal action. So they really serve 2 entirely different purposes.
Anderson Mayor Norma Komnick says city officials are as outraged by the allegations as the public. City officials say this shouldn't reflect poorly on the police department or the other officers who are working to protect those who live in Anderson.
I do not think that the allegations are representative of the department as a whole. They're very unfortunate, but we will find out what's going on and we will take care of the problem.
Many of the Anderson residents we spoke with Tuesday agree, but not everyone is convinced.
I don't think it reflects well at all. It looks like we need to have the police being policed.
Roberta Woolery is encouraged by the way the city's handling the situation.
From what I've read, they're keeping on top of it and checking into it and the allegations.
Also being investigated is Officer Matt Goodwin for not reporting knowledge of the alleged crime sooner than he did. In Anderson, I'm Elizabeth Gadley, Action News.
Officer Benson was released from the Shasta County Jail after posting a $500,000 bail. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for July 21st.
A Redding man wanted in connection with a gang-related shooting turns himself in. Justin Plimpton was booked into the Shasta County Jail yesterday. Redding police say the 21-year-old turned himself in to Fortuna police over the weekend. Plimpton is being held on 2 charges of assault with a deadly weapon in connection with the June 6th gang assault at the Circle K on Hartnell Drive and a shooting on Saturn Skyway. Redding police are still searching for 18-year-old Daniel Pantoja and a 3rd unidentified suspect in the case. Anyone with information is asked to call Redding police.
CHP officers are reminding drivers about the move over, slow down law after 4 officers were killed in recent weeks. 2 Southern California officers were killed in separate incidents over the weekend when drivers veered off the road, hitting their patrol cars. The deaths prompted CHP Commissioner Joe Farrow to ask drivers to be more cautious around emergency vehicles. North State officers say they expect to see agencies step up enforcement of move over, slow down.
So it really comes down to motorists really just need to just concentrate on driving, put the cell phone down, whatever it is that's distracting them, and just pay attention to driving.
The law requires drivers to move over 1 lane on the freeway when approaching emergency vehicles or tow trucks with flashing safety lights. If it is not safe to move over, you must slow down by at least 10 miles an hour.
Well, it's Twilight Mania across the country today as fans of the Love Saga flock to theaters for the midnight showings of Eclipse. Action News reporter Britt Carlson is just outside Tinseltown in Chico where dozens of people are waiting for the big show. Britt?
Alan, some of these Twilighters have been waiting in line since 4:30 this morning. There's a real fascination for this particular installment, Eclipse, because of the introduction of a new set of vampires and the big decision main character Bella must make.
Edward, if you ever touch her against her will again,
don't do this.
She's not sure what she wants.
Don't do this.
The love triangle between Bella, vampire Edward, and werewolf Jacob remains strong in the third Twilight movie, Eclipse. In Eclipse, she is forced to choose between her love for Edward and her friendship with Jacob, knowing that her decision has the potential to ignite the ageless struggle between vampire and werewolf. That love story and the hot, often shirtless stars are what got the girls lining up hours ahead of Tuesday's big release.
Put our faces next to Robert Pattinson and
pretended to be his partner.
Taylor Lautner.
I just really have a fascination for vampires, really, in general. I don't know. And I just like the love story and all the fighting.
Robert Pattinson's pretty scrumptious.
And guys, an intense fight scene is building up hype as well.
If guys have to see any of the 3 movies, it would be the best to see this one. It'll be the most exciting.
I'm curious to see how it's going to end up with the new vampires and the werewolves fighting with the good vampires.
The book series turned blockbuster hit has a strong fan following, referring to themselves as Twilighters or Twihards.
I'm more into the books, but the movies kind of help you see it a little better.
In Chico, all the action is packed into a special showing for dedicated fans.
We're here to see the trilogy for Twilight, so we get to see Twilight, New Moon, and then Eclipse.
But until showtime, the Twilighters had to find a number of ways to pass the time.
Maybe try and take a nap, talk. It's interesting. People are pretty friendly.
And fans should build up their patience. It'll be a long wait after Eclipse. The first film in the saga's 2-part finale will not hit theaters until November of 2011. The trilogy showing begins at 7:15 tonight, and it's expected to last 6 hours and 14 minutes. Now that's sold out, as well as all of the midnight showings here in Chico, but there is still room at the 3 a.m. showing if you're up for it. But Red Bluff, Paradise, Reading, and Anderson theaters will also have midnight showings, and hopefully the big question will be answered: Edward or Jacob? Live in Chico for NBC 24 Action News, I'm Britt Carlson.
Thanks for that, Britt. Well, you've seen them on the big screen in films like Avatar and Alice in Wonderland. 3D movies are the latest craze, but as the 3D excitement moves from the screen to the television, so do the health risks. In tonight's Health Watch, Action News reporter Derek Demo shows us what those risks are.
It's a neat technology. A lot of people are going to be able to enjoy it, but it's not a perfect technology for everyone.
3D movies are all the rage on the big screen, and now viewers can enjoy them from their own home. 3D TVs hit the market in February, and in the first 3 months, consumers nationwide spent about $55 million on them. But research shows more than 50% of people will have difficulty viewing 3D movies.
With the TVs, because we watch those so much more, I think we're probably going to start seeing a lot more eye problems.
Before switching into 3D mode, most sets warn of potential motion sickness, dizziness, or nausea, going as far as saying that some viewers may experience epileptic seizures or stroke.
Some people, a 3D movie could be a potential trigger for that particular problem.
With all the risks involved, many may wonder if the price is worth it. These 3D beauties don't come cheap. Average prices for a big screen 3D TV range between $3,000 and $6,000. Dr. Aregi says that combining 2 images to create the 3D effect is what triggers most problems, causing eyes to become fatigued and strained.
That mechanism, that convergence and that accommodation, which usually run together, that creates some ocular symptoms in many people.
Diagnosing symptoms is easy with a visit to an optometrist, something that is recommended on a regular basis, so that problems are detected before they become serious. In Chico, I'm Derek Demo for Action News.
Program managers at USC's Entertainment Technology Center say there are no large-scale studies to determine the health effect of long-term 3D viewing.
I'm not a big fan of it anyway. I saw Toy Story 3, great movie, but
yeah.
I could do without the 3D glasses.
Right. They're just embarrassing.
Yeah, that's true. The American waistline continues to grow. We'll reveal the new numbers that show the dramatic increase up next on NBC 24 Action News at 5.
And a shocking stunt caught on tape. A guy who car surfs and then jumps off over a bridge into the American River.
Nothing that shocking in the weather department. We're just going to talk about cooling these semi-shocking temperatures on down. We'll talk about nice and comfortable weather headed our way. But NBC 24 Action News returns.